Welcome to the Flavor Chase. Welcome to the Flavor Chase. Welcome to the Flavor Chase. Welcome to the Flavor Chase.
Welcome to the Flavor Chase. I'm your host, Loner Mob, and thank you for joining us. What is the Flavor Chase? I could best describe the Flavor Chase as public consultation for cannabis companies, right? Public consultation. What does that mean? That means, well, I've been smoking for a while, and I believe I have a handle on what's some good flower, what's good quality extract, what's a good edible, right? For the amount of time that I've been consuming. And I want to let these companies know what's up, which means whether or not I pay for a product or they send me a product, right? I'm always going to give a very non-biased just look into what's going on here and what can make this better, what's good about it, right? Is it already top shelf? Is it some mids? Is it low tier? You see our shelves right here, right? We're just getting a chance to see what's going on in the cannabis world. So if you like content like that, please do like and subscribe, leave a comment, and most importantly, tell your people, tell your friends, tell your smokers, tell everybody in the world there's something going down up in this room, all right? So what have we here? This flower here in this jar, it came in this jar, by the way, and this comes from a Colorado company known as High Alpine Genetics. If you are familiar with High Alpine Genetics, they are a breeder as well as a cultivator, and they have been breeding for a few years now some of the more lesser known strains and some of the more popular strains, right? You may have heard of Naked Lady, or you may not have heard of Naked Lady. What you may have heard of is Alpine Glow. What you may have heard of is Pink Panther, the one and some of these Alpine Glow crosses that have been hitting in the Type III CBD hemp market on the internet, right? This here is a new cross, and this is Platinum Panther. So we're gonna check this one out. What is Platinum Panther? Platinum Panther is a collaboration that happened between let's make sure I get their names all right. Tyler Shannon of Believer and Thomas Swanson of High Alpine Genetics, in which Tyler provided Thomas with some seeds of Legendary OG. Thomas took those seeds of Legendary OG and found the right phenos, and then made some crosses, feminized it, and crossed that Legendary OG to a bunch of different strains. So there's a new Legendary OG cross of seeds, a new selection of seeds from High Alpine Genetics, and this here is Legendary OG crossed the Pink Panther. So we're gonna go ahead and check this one out here, right? Legendary OG, I've known to have kind of a sweeter scent, right? Sometimes more of a minty, kind of chocolatey kind of scent to it, right? Kind of a, not necessarily a particular gassy flower, right? And if you know of Pink Panther, Pink Panther can be kind of a citrus candy, kind of a floral aroma that comes off of those flowers. So what does that combination bring in this jar? Let's find out together, right? Very unique. Very unique. It kind of leans more towards Pink Panther, but it looks like there's two separate phenos in here, right? There's one that's very purple and very icy, and one that's kind of greener and still very icy. And it's almost like some Jack. It's almost like some real Jack, right? There's kind of a citrus going on here, a floral citrus candy going on here, but like a sour citrus candy, and like some funky back end on it. That's really nice. The flower itself, Thomas is selling 8-gram quarters right now on his website, and when he sends you bud, typically he doesn't just send you nugs, he sends you like the whole branch. You know what I mean? You get the whole. I'm gonna give you the whole, bruh. Take the whole, bruh. Thomas is giving out branches, right? And this is a nice, icedy, some of the best trim work that Thomas has done. Some of the flowers that I've gotten from him in the past didn't have necessarily the best trim job on it, right? But it's also a $30 8-gram quarter, right, for indoor. So maybe it's not that big of a deal. You can go ahead and get some scissors, get some fiskars, and trim it up yourself, right? You save $10 basically from what the average other company would charge you. But this here is, wow, you can see underneath here, like on the purple, like the purple is just covered in trichomes. It's a beautiful flower. It's a beautiful flower. It's a beautiful flower. Beautiful smeller too. Let's see what I got here. What else this other one looks like here? Yeah, this looks like the legendary OG, the more dominant legendary OG pheno right here. A little bit greener, still heavily covered in ice. And smells slightly different too. Smells slightly different from this purple one. So yeah, two different phenos. They both look good. They both look good. What I'm gonna do though, because I want some purple this morning for breakfast, I'm gonna go ahead and take a few little pieces off. I'm gonna take this piece here. Boom. And we're gonna take this piece here. We're gonna break those off, and you can see the trikes falling off of it. Very sticky too. Just taking that off leaves a nice scent on the hands. I'm gonna take this off here and put this back in the jar. And while I roll this up and get ready to smoke this, how about we go ahead and do something different for the show? Here's a few photos of the bud. We're gonna go ahead and get a chance to take a look at that, and then when we come back, we'll go ahead and start the smoke. All right, let's do it. And when you break this flower down, once it's ground up, a whole extra scent comes out of this now that is kind of it's funky and almost like black licorice, right? It takes on a whole new quality comes out of these flowers. That is very, very, very unique, very enjoyable, very dominant. This is a fragrant flower, right? It starts off with a nice smell. Once you pop open the jar, but once you break it down and you break it up, this smell really starts to fill the room, right? It really starts to fill the room, and you can tell just it doesn't smell like it don't smell like 2018. It doesn't smell like 2018. It smells better than Alpine Glow. It smells better than Pink Panther by itself, in my opinion, right? This is the I believe the Panther Funk Pheno, right? Thomas's Panther Funk Pheno crossed to the legendary OG, which I believe he dubbed the Super Sticky Pheno, and this is Super Sticky Flower, right? This is Super Sticky Flower that is perfect, right? The stickier the flower, sometimes the better for rolling, because this flower wants to clump together, it wants to take shape, it wants to hold to itself. Sometimes you get a flower that looks nice. It's nice and trichome heavy, but it's also extra dry, maybe, extra dry. And when you're trying to roll a joint or you're trying to roll a blunt, it's like trying to roll with pepper or with sand, right? So it's harder to make it just hold on to itself. But not with this flower right here. Not with this particular batch. Really, really good. Really, really nice. I'm rolling this here in a Doobie Ninja rolling paper. Shouts out to Doobie Ninja, one of the sponsors for the show. We got a few sponsors coming out on the line pretty soon, so really, really looking forward to that. But shouts out to Doobie Ninja Rolling Papers. If you are interested in supporting reforestation efforts, Doobie Ninja Rolling Papers is founded. Doobie Ninja is founded on the basis of wanting to, as they say, help reforest the world. Right? They are starting in the Bay Area right now, working on various regenerative food forests, and they want to take that to a larger global scale. So if you would like to support those kind of efforts, please do check out some Doobie Ninja Rolling Papers. They f with Loner Mob. They fuck with the Flavor Chase. Fuck with them. You know what I mean? Okay, so we have our joint here. Our joint nice and rolled up, ready to smoke. And this one here, like I said, a sticky flower. A sticky flower. So it wants to hold on to itself. It wants to give you that very easy to roll experience, right? And right here we go. Right here we got our joint nice and hand rolled. Let's go ahead and light this in the air, see what that taste is like, what these effects are like, and then we'll see what shelf this Platinum Panther will land on. Let's go for it. A very flavorful dry hit, by the way. Very flavorful dry hit. Just as good as many of the Type 1 that I've tried as of late. This is a surpriser. Just as flavorful as, say, a side piece, but just going in a different direction. As flavorful, but a different direction, right? And tasty. The immediate flavor profile on this is floral. It is floral, but not the typical CBD floral, right? It's funky. It leaves like a funky back end, and like, wow, yeah, this one's very nice. It's funky, borderline florally and gassy. It's very different. Although legendary OG is in the name, right? It doesn't taste like an OG, like a Type 1 OG. You know what I mean? It tastes much closer, in my opinion, to a Jack Herrera. You know what I mean? It's like Pink Panther on steroids. Yeah, that's what I describe this. It's a very dominant terpene profile that comes off of this one here. Right? It's like it's got that kind of cologne-ness to it. Right? It's like a slightly gassy back end, slightly funky and gassy back end, with a lead inhale of like a floral cologne. It's a real unique combination of terpene profile, like of these terpenes that come together that create this profile here. It's very nice. And then, right, I would call this right here. There's a certain series of flowers that I want to call, right, part of the Type III Takeover, right? And yeah, this is part of the Type III Takeover right here. This is part of the Type III Takeover. Type III Takeover, it'll include this. It'll include side piece. It may include that mango tree, right? It may include the unicorn butter purple pheno from Flow Gardens, right? Lemon cookie dough from High Alpine Genetics. It's something going on in Type 3 right now that's very special. And if you are a newer smoker or a current cannabis THC consumer looking to try something different, this is the perfect time to give Type 3 a try. And don't go to the gas station. Don't go to the random head shops. Go to one of these trusted vendors online. Go to Thomas. Go to High Alpine Genetics, right? Because although Thomas is selling flower, Thomas is mainly in the business of selling seeds. And what he's giving you is a perfect example of what you can expect to get added from his flower, right? If you were thinking about getting into cultivation and you're like, damn, I kind of want to grow that Platinum Panther, but I don't know, right? I don't know. You can buy the flower from him and say, oh, okay, it's phenos that hit like this. All right, there's something special in here. I want to check it out, right? That's one of the best things I think of buying from a breeder and a cultivator. You know what I mean? Same thing with Hoku, right? You get a chance to see an example of what these flowers are like for yourself from the breeder. And in some cases, right, it's what the breeder intended for you to experience. At least I think that's what this is right here. It's a sticky flower. It's resinous. It's tasty and terpy. Beautiful color, beautiful density on it. And it is an enjoyable smoke, very much so. Now, I've had the Panther Funk Pheno before from Thomas. I've had the Panther Funk Pheno grown from Clutch City Farms. I think Thomas had the best of the Panther Funk Phenos, which would make sense because he's the one who originated the pheno. But this is better than the Panther Funk. This is the Panther takes the Panther Funk to the next level, and it would make sense because this is Panther Funk crossed to that legendary, right? And as far as effects are concerned, this is my first smoke of the day, unaffiliated with the first smoke of the day. Shouts out to them. No, I fuck with that podcast. Thank you to co-people. Thank you to my partner Nick, my former coworker Nick, and also to Tyler from Believer, who told me, check out First Smoke of the Day. So it is a very interesting podcast to hear people's experiences within the cannabis industry and whatnot, and from the underground times to this current mainstream commercial times of what's going on, right? All right. As far as effects are concerned, this is an interesting one. This is a Type 3 CBD hemp flower, which does have minor traces of THC, right? And also other minor cannabinoids in it. It isn't just straight CBD, right? There are other cannabis grows minor cannabinoids and other things in there, right? And some of these effects here are interesting. They are noticeable, right? I feel that feeling in my chest, that feeling of relaxation in my chest, right? I feel that feeling in my face of kind of like an eye grab and the jaw clench, right? You feel it in the face, you feel it in the body, but it takes you like to a gate, right? I would say like if Type 1, like when you smoke some Type 1 cannabis, right? Something higher THCA, right? That's gonna be the reference for going through the gate, right? You crossed over into the threshold, and now you're in the space now where you're elevated, right? This is like I'm at the gate, I'm peeking through the door. I kind of stepped through the door, but I haven't just ran through the door. You know what I mean? I haven't just ran through the door, right? I say this to say, right? I'm there without being there. You know what I mean? Right? I'm just about there. Like I'm just at the point right there. We're at the crossover point, but I'm chilling right here though. But I'm chilling right here, right? I don't know if you've ever done any more potent psychedelics or anything like that. I'm not gonna say you should, but if you ever done, right? And there's one. It's known by 3 letters, right? Not with an L, but starts with a D, right? Ends with a T, right? And in the middle might be an M. But you try that out, right? And depending on how much you have of that, right, you can, right, you're at a gate, right? There's the gate before you break through, right? And I would consider like being elevated off of THCA. We'll use that as a reference point for breaking through. This is like being at the gate. I definitely feel it. I feel it, and it's potent, and it's there, but I don't have that brain fog, right? I don't have a brain fog. I don't have the racing thoughts or nothing like that, right? Maybe in 10 minutes after I film this, I might feel something extra, but this does feel like it creeps up on you. It does creep up on you. If you're of lower tolerance, right? If you're of lower tolerance, smoking a joint like this might be too much for you, right? You may want to smoke off a pipe, smoke off a bong, get it, and dose yourself. Take a few hits off a nug and dose yourself, right? Don't just go straight into the full gram and face it, you know what I mean? And just take the gram to the face. But very potent, very potent. It is somewhere, as like Shabazz would say, like, right, somewhere between Type 2 and Type 3. That's where it feels like this one exists in that spectrum. It's right. I feel something. It's very noticeable, but it's not the full-on feeling that I would feel if I smoke like something that's like I got some RS11 right there, right? It's not just gonna fuck me up like the RS11. But it is gonna take me to a nice place, a very nice place. Like this is almost like perfect to have before working out, right? After filming this, I might go work out, do some push-ups and pull-ups. You know what I mean? Like do a little something. This is definitely a good little motivator, without a doubt, bro. All right, so man, where am I gonna place this? Where is this one gonna land? I think you already know personally, but where is this gonna land? Platinum Panther by High Alpine Genetics, bred and cultivated by High Alpine Genetics. Thomas is doing something special. You know, a while back, Thomas told me, "Hey, look, I'm growing, and I'm cultivating because I want to compete with everybody, whoever's out there. I want to compete with them, right?" And Thomas has the right attitude about it too, right? Because he's not like saying "F all you," right? He's not saying "F y'all," because he collaborates with so many people. What he's saying, right? It's kind of like that Kendrick line off that Big Sean song, right? I got love for all of y'all, but I'm trying to murder you, right? All I'm saying is I got love for all of y'all, but I want to be the top cultivator, right? I'm trying to be number one. It's all love, but in this race to the top, I'm trying to be the first one, and it's evident right now because in the past, Thomas, this is his best batch, right? Some of his flower has been hit. Some of his flower, for me personally, right, had been a miss before. But this is one of the ones where he just hit it out the park, right? In my personal opinion, this is a beautiful looker, right? Excellent color, excellent trichome coverage. It's sticky, it's dense, it's fragrant, it's flavorful, and it's effective. And god damn it, my is top shelf. What are we talking about right now? Absolutely. The fact that this is $30 right here for 8 grams of it, the fact that you can get it in a jar, shipped to your house in the glass jar, 8 grams of it for $30, is one of the best values. One of the best values out there. There's excellent product out there. Clutch, right? Clutch, you get 8 grams for $40, right? That $30 to $40 range for 8 grams. Man, that's a major deal. That's a major deal, especially of something of this quality, right? Man, anything that I'm gonna start calling some shit the Type III Takeover, right? The Type III Takeover. Anything that land on this top shelf here is part of the Type III Takeover right here, because this is the one. These are gonna be the flowers here that you should. That should be your first. That should be your first smoke, right? These are the concentrates. That should be your first dabs. These are the carts. That should be the first ones you look for, right? Platinum Panther from High Alpine Genetics. Yeah. It's one of them ones, bro. Relight. Well, look. I think I said I'm about to go do some push-ups, and I think I'm about to, right? So thank you for joining the show, right? Anybody out there in viewer land who's rocking with me, right? And we rocking together, right? And what are we, right? What are we, right? We are cannabis consumers. We are cannabis connoisseurs. We are cannabis cultivators. We are cannabis curators. And we're not here to bring you solely the highest cannabinoid profiles. We know test results don't always tell the full story of a flower's terpene expression, which is why we hunt. Just like Thomas, right? Not just for the craft grown, but for the true top shelf. For that experience that makes our senses tingle when we pop a pack open. For the flavor that coats our taste buds from inhalation, from puff to puff. I messed up the line, whatever. We're not looking for right now. We're looking for the future. Supporting your shoes, my nigga, and follow your nose.
Welcome to the flavor chase. We in search for the fire, that tropical Kool-Aid mixed with burnt rubber ties that we throw up in the paper, we favor and roll it up. Look like Olympic torches, we hoping we showing up. Type 1, Type 2, Type 3, Type 4. What I want, what it do, what I need, my dro. This be my show, going out to all the coasts. It's the flavor chase, player and loner mob, the host.